Hello again, everybody. It's March 13th, 2011. One day after my previous video, Let's Talk Anarchy. In that one I talked about Proposition 19, 2012, the Japan tsunami earthquake, how HARP was kind of introduced into it, but not really. In this video, I really wanted to talk to you guys about Obama and the Federal Reserve. I don't think that you guys understand how we coexist with these coalitions. And I say coalitions because our president has the power right now to become a dictator. And I can back that up by saying that in his proposal to Congress, his stimulus bill, a stimulus package, one of the main things that really pissed me off about this bill was whenever it was first put in front of Congress had 1 hour to look at this 1,017-page bill and pass or throw it out. But in most of Congress, they have also mentioned that their choosing on this bill wasn't their choosing, really. It was basically the White House, the Federal Reserve, getting on to their asses, saying, you know, we can collapse the market. We can do that. We can initiate martial law tomorrow if they don't pass this bill. The President, Obama, himself stated that this was such a big bill that it needed to be passed so quickly to fix our economy. And then what'd that motherfucker do? I'll tell you what he did. He took a vacation with his family for 3 days. 3 days. Came back and then signed it. So why do you wait? Basically, we're pawns, you know? I mean, we just sit idly by and wait for other people to make decisions for us. One of the biggest issues I have with Obama, really, is that he's from Kenya, Africa. He is from Kenya, Africa. He is not a civilian. I mean, he's not a citizen. In his inauguration, he basically said that we as a people need to come forth. We as a people need to stand up for everything that we believe in. And you guys believed him. And then he fucked you. He fucked you big time. And I don't mean like small time. I mean big time. He has fucked you in the most gigantic way possible. And how's that? He's taken away your rights. He's taken away your natural born freedoms. He really is. He wants no guns. No guns. Now, can you imagine this? A place with no guns. On the brink of martial law, with no weapons. No weapons whatsoever. They've got all the guns. These guys that we so eagerly trust, and we so eagerly hand all of our money, and everything that they ask of us to do, we do. We hand them our weapons, and they turn on us. They turn on us. I'd say one of the biggest turns would be 9/11. And of course you guys are all going to hate me for bringing this up, blah blah blah. 9/11, yeah, Obama, yeah, he's not part of it. Fucking Bush, he's just too stupid to pull it off, blah blah blah. Well, what you guys fail to realize is that Larry Silverstein, the person who leased this building, well, actually all 7 buildings out, he bid $3.55 million for the lease for the Twin Towers in 2001. In 2001, mind you, $3.55 million for the lease. He was outbid by some other gentleman for $50 million. $50 million. And then Silverstein, being a bitch ass that he is, decides to funnel $13.5 million of his money to secure this lease. Now, What's so great about Larry Silverstein? I'll tell you what's great about Larry Silverstein. Larry Silverstein is a Bush insider, a Bush administrator. Yeah. Fuck. 2001. 9/11, 2001. After this situation happened in the morning, when these two planes hit, what did Silverstein do? Well, quite simply, what he did was he said, shit, my buildings are gone. You know, I think that since two planes hit two different buildings, that is two separate occasions. What was he trying to do? He was trying to get at least $7 billion, $7 billion for these two occurrences, because in court hearings they had already decided that it was one case, and he didn't like it. He didn't like the fact that he was only getting $3.5 billion. So what did he do? He appealed it. Whenever he appealed it, they put together two little forms of these people to give two separate trials. In one of these trials, everyone except for one person said it's going to be one occurrence. The second group, everyone said that it was two occurrences. So now that he's got everyone saying it's two occurrences on the second trial, he decides to say, well, this is crazy. I mean, the second group has already said that it was two occurrences. It should be two occurrences, and he sued them. He went and sued the people who said it was one occurrence. And what happened? He won. Now, it's 2011, 10 years ago. What stands there now? Well, a light from memory, apparently, for the two Twin Towers, of course, and this one building now. This one building he pays $10,000 a month on. A month. $10,000. Oh, sorry, no. $10 million a month for this one building, and he's trying to fund, after he's gotten this $7.5 billion, he's trying to fund enough money to rebuild the towers again. But he hasn't done it. 10 years later. All that stands there are false memories. Tears. Death. Sacrifices. That's all it is. That's all it really was. It's all it really was a bunch of sacrifices. People who didn't even think that they were going to lose their lives that one morning. And why? Why did they all lose their lives? Because we wanted Iraq's oil. We wanted to invade Iraq. And I mean, the proof's there. The proof's there. That's the whole reason this war started. Within the first 3 minutes of this morning, of these planes hitting these two buildings, someone came on NBC, MSNBC, and CBS. Another Bush administrator. He stated that Osama bin Laden was responsible. Within 3 minutes. Within 3 minutes, we had already been told who was responsible. And I'll never forget it. It was like it was yesterday. I'll never forget the hate and the rage and frustration and fear that we all had as an entire nation against this one man. It was so unbelievable that we have toilet paper now to wipe our asses with his face on it, saying dead or alive. He's been the FBI's, he's been on the FBI's 10 most wanted list ever since the 90s. But what you guys might not know also is that in '98 he was put on dialysis. Yes, Osama bin Laden was on dialysis. When he was on dialysis in '98, one of the most wanted people in the world, our government goes and sees him. Our government goes and sees him. And then in 2001, one one reporter with a camera goes to this cave that he's supposedly hiding in, and apparently gets an up-close and in-face personal interview with this guy. Now mind you, he's speaking in Arabic. You guys should really check that video out. It was portrayed everywhere. The media ran wild with it. You can find it. It is a dubbed video. It really is. He mentions hating America a lot. He does. I mean, I'm not going to say that he doesn't. But he does not take any part in the 9/11 incident. No, he doesn't. Do you know why? Because he's a fucking patsy. Now, y'all might be thinking, Osama bin Laden, he's a terrible guy. How can you defend him, Justin? How can you defend him? Well, to put it simply, I mean, if you think about it, we had Hitler in his regime, correct? We did. Of course, it was in the 1940s, it was World War II. Now, what made Hitler so bad? What made Hitler so bad was the fact that he didn't care about his people. He cared about taking over the world. Now, why do you want to take over the world? For the most control, the most power. He wanted it all. So, why do I think that there could possibly be another spirit somewhere out there that wants the same shit that he does? It's really simple, you guys. I mean, it really is. Actually, I'm getting off track with everything that I'm doing right now. One of the main things that I wanted to show you guys is that Savvy brought it up to me in one of her comments on my video. She said that we're all basically being fucked because we're in this bubble, basically. And outside of this bubble are the people that we have to listen to. You know, police, fucking president, Congress, Senate, blah blah blah, all that shit. And then in this bubble, inside this bubble, is the private sector. Now, the civilians in the private sector have always been civilians higher than the private sector. But in this day and age, the private sector is getting insanely bigger. Insanely bigger. And how is it doing that? You might remember Obama addressing the nation about one night, just sitting on the couch watching him on CNN talk about his inaugurational speeches and all that bullshit. One thing that he mentioned that a lot of people never got a drift of, really, was that he wanted a civilian army. And what does he mean by that, a civilian army? That means that he wants everyone to be in the armed services. And it's put in his bill that anyone between the ages of 18 to 25, male or female, will, and I'm not saying could possibly, I'm saying will serve in the armed forces. So how's he going to do that? There's no drafting effect, right? No, there's not. But one of the things that he failed to mention that was in one of his bills was that our citizenship isn't a right. Just because we're born here, we don't have the right to live here. No. We have to help our country take over our country. We have to help everyone with their greed and their lust and their everything. But what they failed to mention is that people have brains, and spoken words have meaning. They carry their own weight.